Well, Sky Squad, we are back in the building. Today, we're going to be discussing the Real Housewives of Atlanta. What happened in the dungeon? Does it stay in the dungeon? We got to talk about everything that went on with last night's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just got finished watching this episode, and let me tell you something. Oh, it was good. It was good. It was good. It was juicy. And we're going to get into all about Bolo. Yes, we're going to talk about it all. Y'all had to see, I had to wear my dungeon outfit. This is the closest thing I got to something that I might wear in the dungeon. Kandi, let me know if you approve or not. Not that you watching my videos, but I just want to know, is this dungeon appropriate? I tried to get as close to it as I can. I hope y'all at home watching with your dungeon wardrobe on too. Let me know what you got on, because I'm nosy. You know what I'm saying? But listen, the things that we got to talk about today, Kenya Moore is exposing this good old sausage party on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Then we got LATOYA Ali basically giving us the tea on what went down with her and Drew at this whole situation, as well as a whole lot of other shenanigans. And y'all know, honestly, after that, we're going to rate the episode. So get into all of this. And listen, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. Y'all know what to do. Do the drill. Go ahead and subscribe. If you ain't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting on. Anyway, let's get down to it. Now, we're going to discuss, the obvious headline with Kenya Moore exposing the sausage party. You know what I'm saying? As we continue to go throughout the episode. But I don't know if y'all peeped this on the line, but if you follow on Twitter, your girl Drew Sidora said, so what was Drew doing? Drew was living her best life. Okay, that's what she said. But according to LATOYA, okay, Drew was living her best life on top of LATOYA's lips, okay? She says this. She says, wait, Drew, you left out the part where you kissed me. Boom! Because you know that good Drew was on Watch What Happens Live. Now, I ain't seen Watch What Happens Live yet. I was traveling back last night. I got back late last night, so I had to watch the episode this morning. So when I watch What Happens Live, we'll talk about that in the next video. Anyway. So LATOYA said that, and she also said, I wonder if Drew watched this episode with Ralph. Awkward. I want to know if she watched it with Ralph too. That would be the real gotcha right there. I want to know what he had to say about the shenanigans that was going on up in this episode, because, Drew seemed real concerned about what was going to come out. Who is somebody gonna say something? Why is Kenya, trying to figure out what was going on? Wait. Okay, so I was like, Drew, girl, why are you so worried? What you do? What did you do? What did you see? What did you say? Who else did you kiss? Okay. Anyway, I want to go ahead and get down to rating the episode, because y'all know how we like to do it on this channel. We rate the episode on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? 1 being the lowest, and then 10 obviously being the highest. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, I gave last week a 10, but I'm going to have to give this one a 10 plus, okay? I'm going to give it a 10 plus because it has shenanigans. It had escapades. It had scrippers. It had, liquorization. It had some cover up the camera with some tape, but forget the audio, okay? It had all of the above mystery intrigue, and your girl Kenya was on the case, okay? Inspector Gadget was on the case. She was so busy on the case, she couldn't even figure out whether or not she had to actually really feed her baby, okay? That's how on the case that she was in this episode, okay? And we're going to get down into it because Kandi gave us that read at the end of the episode, and it was classic, okay? So let's get down to business. All right, so we get into the episode. This is episode 10 for those who might not know, okay? Episode 10 is where we are. Okay, so we get this intro with the basic instinct, which was clever. Part of me thinks that this might have been Kenya's idea because it really focused so much on her and what she had to say. And I thought this was really creative. I felt like at some point, the Atlanta production team said, we need to step up our production game. And they really did. So I was really liking this whole setup. Each of the ladies got their own basic instinct style confessional, except for Porsha, who decided she was not going to participate because she was pleading the fifth, because she ain't got nothing to say. Low key, I think that she knew that this whole production setup right here for this Basic Instinct style confessional was Kenya's idea and she refused to participate. That's what I think. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong, okay? So the first question of the day is, what is a freak hoe, okay? Kenya says someone who will be a freak for anything, okay? And they wants to know who did the do with the scripper. We don't know, but Kenya gonna find out. Now, if you will comment along in the chatterization right now, I wanna know, who do you think did the duorization with the scripper based on what we know so far, okay? Listen, I got my thoughts, but I'm gonna get into it as we get into the episode, okay? So we find out that Cynthia has never had a bachelorette party before, so she has no clue what's going on. So according to Kandi, this is nothing new. I was like, I caught that shade. All I know is when the ladies came down, I could not focus on anybody else except Marlo. I did not know that Marlo had the body of a glamazon warrior, okay? I said, forget Wonder Woman. This is all about Marlo right now. I was like, Marlo, what have you been doing? You have been hiding this juicy body from us for all these years, and now it's on full display. I was like, get into it. Come on, Marlo. I was here for it. Anyway, she still got her mask on, even though apparently everybody, including Bolo, has been tested. And Marlo, I don't blame you. Now, at some point, I'm sure it came off. I just don't remember when, because I forgot, because there was so many other things going on. Anyway, Cynthia comes down in full auntie mode, and Kandi welcomes her to the dungeon. Kenya is doing full upside down splits, really into it. Now, I want you guys to know Kenya is into the tea, okay? She's into it. So when we have a discussion later about a couple of things, not in this episode, but in a different video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. But I want you to know that Kenya is into the things, okay? She's into it, okay? Drew shades that she should be doing that stuff for Mark. And I thought to myself, what if she's already doing those things for Mark? You could be doing any and everything in the world. You could be doing upside down splits, cartwheels, hanging up from the ceiling, hanging from the garage, hanging from a shower curtain like Mimi. But at the end of the day, if somebody is not into you, or if they're gonna cheat, they still gonna cheat. It don't matter what you're doing, okay? Wrong thing to do, Drew. Because here's the thing, Drew, I likes you. I do. But even if you doing upside down splits, what is going on in your marriage is your man still ran down to Tampa, didn't tell you what he was doing, and he still got a camera up in the house, okay? Now, while you was up there, he probably put some more cameras in the house. So if I was you, I would be doing some trackerization to figure out where those cameras are and what they be looking at, okay? And what they're looking for. You should install some cameras in his car. Okay, that's what you should do. That's here's the moment. Anyway, I digress. Still love Drew. I do. I absolutely love the energy she's bringing this season. But I just had to say that. I had to say it, okay? Anyway, Kandi is in full-on dominatrix mode. And I just have to say, I'm actually a little turned on by this. I don't even know why. But it feels to me like Kandi got a lot of experience in this whole dominatrix setup. And I was like, maybe it's the dungeon tour, but I feel like it was always up in her. And I'm not mad at it. I'm actually kind of excited about it. And Kandi, if you are listening, not that you are, this is what I think that you should do. I think that you should come out with a whole banging dungeon soundtrack, okay? I call it a soundtrack. Don't call it an album, because I feel like that's too much pressure. You call it a soundtrack. Put a whole bunch of Atlanta artists on it. Get you and Rashida, back on a track or something like that. Make it real steamy, real nice and hot and kinky and all that kind of stuff like that. And then when things open back up, you take that on the road with you and you perform those songs, because I could have swore I heard some Kandi vocals within the episode during the dang on soundtrack for the episode. I was like, Kandi, is you doing it? Do it, girl. Do it. All right, anyway, okay. Cynthia comes down, she's in dungeon bride realness, and we learned that her panties are vibrating, okay? Kandi is controlling the vibrations. They head outside, they see Bolo in a box, okay? Marlo calls out his fake Chanel, all right? So she's calling out the fake Chanel. She said, I know you want to be in fashion, it's okay. But all the ladies want to know if the thing, okay, that Bolo got it real. They want to know if it's real. They want to know what's going on down there. And if the things are real. That's what they want to know. So LATOYA, we find out, wants to she wants to sit on, you know, someone, and we're starting to go into a whole different territory right now, okay? They come back inside. Cynthia has her basic instinct moment in front of the camera, but she wants to leave it all behind in North Carolina. They are in South Carolina, Cynthia, South Carolina. Cynthia is so dazed by this whole experience, she don't even know where she was, okay? So anyway, they all start making it, you know, rain on Bolo, except for Cynthia, who was making the drizzle with a couple of dollars. You know what I'm saying? But Porsha can't get enough. Bolo is licking out that tongue. He like, okay, and Kandi introduces the swing and puts Cynthia on it. And then, you know, commences to gyrating and showing us how she do it. You know what I'm saying? She is getting the gyration down on the good Cynthia and letting us know how it's done. Now, Kenya at this point in time commences to wallowing on the floor, okay? Wallowing, legs askew and all kinds of things. And that's when we see the beginning of Porsha and LATOYA over on the side getting it fresh while Shamia tripping in the background because she is drunk, okay? I was here for all of this madness, all right? Now, Kenya at this point is screaming, bring back Bolo. So Porsha goes to get him, okay? And Kandi ready for the cameras to be out, so they de-mic, production leaves at 12:45, and they begin taping the cameras up, okay? Now, Porsha is saying,
where Bolo and his thing yet?
And then she said, somebody gonna eat it tonight. Okay, somebody eat it tonight. Okay, now I don't know who that's gonna be, but it was looking like it was about to be LATOYA, but we don't know how much of that went down. Okay, anyway, so we learned that Kenya is here to give us all the tea about what happened. So Cynthia had to check to see if the Bolo thing was real. LATOYA and Porsha are apparently making out, okay? And Bolo gets a humperization on with the good Drew, okay, who is face down on the coffee table, okay? Tanya says she cannot go with the Bolo, and Kandi reveals a majority of the time I was just watching, okay? I was just doing some watcherization. But what was you doing the rest of the time, Kandi? Okay. Kandi, the officiator, okay, of this whole situation. Anyway, at 6 a.m., Kenya gets up and hears noises coming from the bedroom. At 7:06, Bolo is leaving the house, okay? Cynthia and Drew recap, okay? And so we learned that Drew left the situation and she came back because she had to get a little more. Okay, and Porsha was laid back, LATOYA is straddled, and Tanya on the top, okay? And then Drew comes and says she hopes that the cameras was covered. Okay, was the cameras covered? She is real worried about these cameras. So Cynthia and Drew decide to tell their significant others when they get back. Now, anyway, half of the ladies have to go on a boat trip. They think they're going on a yacht, but little do they know they're going fishing, okay? Kenya comes down. She says that she feels like she has smelt some booty Jew, okay? And so Kenya wants to know who is in the bed with the Bolo, okay? Kandi says what happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon. Now, throughout, Kandi has the position that, listen, you are not going to make this into a storyline. What happened after the cameras went down was supposed to stay what happened when the cameras went down. But unfortunately, Kenya, who will likely not be invited back to any other bachelorette functions, because I wouldn't invite her. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to break this right down. Let me break it down for you right now. At one point in time, I would have been the Kenya person up in the house, trying to figure out who was doing what with who, so me and my friends can kiki laugh and do a little judgerization for the rest of the people being a little bit messy. You know what I'm saying? I would have done that. But the me that is now, that I exist as this person now, says this: let grown folks do what they want to do, okay? At this point in time, we is off the clock, okay? The cameras are supposed to be down. So why is anybody making this into a big situation? But I will tell you this. Kenya did the right thing in this situation, and I know y'all gonna come at me with this but hear me out when I say it. It's not that she did the right thing. That's not what I'm saying. I felt like she felt like she was doing the right thing for the show. She made this whole episode pop. I'm gonna tell you the truth. She did. Now, while I again feel like grown folks do what grown folks do and nobody should be judged for it, she was actually in charge of the shenanigans with figuring out who it was, and it was actually hilarious to me, okay? But I just also didn't like that she was judging them and calling them freaks and hoes and all kinds of other names, because these people can do whatever they want to do. They are grown, and she is not their keeper, okay? Anyway, Marlo says that the people should have signed NDAs, okay? And we talked about the NDAs on this channel at one point in time. So anyway, Kenya, okay, and Cynthia head to the pool. Cynthia admits that she was turned on watching the girl-on-girl action. Bolo was involved in the action, and according to Kenya, his head had been disappeared somewhere in the mix of the ladies that were getting it on. Now, Kenya is shocked that Drew was doing the humperization on the Bolo, and then LATOYA comes down and acts dumb and says, I was not kissing anyone, okay? Well, fast forward to now, and you admit that you were at least kissing Drew, and then the camera actually showed you and Porsha doing the kisserization, okay? So Kenya's interrogating LATOYA, but she is exonerated because she was on the IG at 6 a.m. Now down comes Shamia and Tanya, okay? And Kenya is still holding Bolo court, and she's interrogating the ladies. Shamia had went upstairs at 4:30 a.m., but where was Tanya? She don't know because she don't remember because she was too drunk, okay? So at a certain point in time, Cynthia starts to feel like, okay, Kenya's going a little bit too far, and it's getting a little weird with the interrogation. Anyway, Porsha, Kandi, Marlo, and Drew are having a good old time recapping the night, just enjoying the shenanigans and the fun, okay? They get to the boat, they catches a shark, they're having a good old time. Now, but the irony here is that when Marlo and Kandi was talking about Kenya, it was at that moment that Marlo ended up catching the shark, which I thought was actually funny the way they juxtaposed that, because, I mean, well, you guys get the irony of it. Anyway, so they had a good time and they get back and they hungry. Anyway, Drew discusses the move with Ralph, okay? She learns that she, like we said last time, has avoided all the stress and the shenanigans with moving because she did not have to participate in it. And it was raining too. So Drew, you should be thanking all of us because we tried to tell you last week, okay? Anyway, LATOYA is making a seafood boil and she don't know how to do it, okay? So we start there. That's first things first. She can't cook, apparently. Kenya begins questioning Kandi, and Kandi is like, why are we still talking about the Bolo and what happened the last night? Kandi says, let these people have their personal business. I agree, okay? But let me tell you something. Otherwise, if Kenya hadn't been doing all this snooperization, we probably wouldn't have had as much story and as much excitement as we do over this episode, okay? I just gotta say it. Gotta point it out. Now, Kenya says she came down for some milk for the baby, and she heard noises for 45 minutes. Read of the night is when Kandi said,
45 minutes? You made your baby wait for 45 minutes?
I was through. Shamia and Porsha are just wanting to keep it as their personal business. Kandi knows what happened, but she ain't saying nothing. Pause for the cause. Who do you guys think was in the room with the Bolo? Do you think it was Porsha and Tanya, as Kenya says? I want to know. Write it in the chatterization down below. Cynthia calls up Marlo to talk about Kenya. They go to Kenya's room. Kenya and Marlo make up. And I'm thinking, finally, thank the Lord, progress has been made. But you know, Porsha not gonna be happy about that. But anyway, and all I kept thinking to myself was, sometimes I feel like Marlo, maybe because she's been a friend on this show for so long, I feel like maybe she feels like she needs to be labeled as a person's friend. And it's usually one of the most powerful people on the show. And I would say powerful people, I mean somebody who has the most outlandish or the most outrageous, not outrageous, but like the biggest personality. And with Nene gone, it seems almost like she just sort of needed to make amends with Kenya in order to sort of be, you know, that person's friend. But I really have to say, Marlo to me is more interesting on her own, which is why I want her to get a peach, because I find her fascinating and I want to know what's going on in her life. I keep saying it every episode, okay? Anyway, they make up. I was actually happy about the amount of growth that Marlo and Kenya showed in this moment, but they get to talking about what happened the night before again, okay? We're back at it. Again, they were both up in the middle of the night. I don't know why. Okay, well, I guess it was early morning. So, you know, I really can't be the middle of the night at that point. So they had a reason to be up. Anyway, they both heard noises. Now, Porsha at this point, it was supposed to have her Basic Instinct style confessional moment, but she ain't show up because she's like, I'm not doing this with y'all today, okay? So Porsha, Shamia, and Tanya gather. Shamia relays that Kenya was implying that Porsha, Tanya, and the Bolo work together in the room, okay? Getting it on, having the relations, getting the thing popping, making it pop, lock, and drop, getting it, dropping like it's hot, bust it. That's what they were saying. Okay, so anyway, Porsha plays it off like Kenya's making it up. Porsha is not falling for it. She feels like Kenya has been poking and prodding at her, and Kenya is a punk with no hands. That's what Porsha says, okay? Now, Porsha also says that she believes that Kenya wants her to be fired up, but she's not going for it. Unfortunately, Tanya doesn't feel the same, okay? Because Tanya has a full-blown relationship that she has been in for quite some time, and she don't need Kenya messing that up by poking and prodding her nose into the bedroom that she did not belong in, okay? So, but Porsha says that she's going to support Tanya. So they all head down to the dinner. They approach LATOYA. LATOYA now understands the issue because she says that Kenya is taking their fun night and trying to make an issue out of it. At this point in time, Porsha notices that, that good LATOYA is developing a backbone, and she labels her baby back, okay? And so then everybody turns up for dinner. Marlo and Kenya show up, and everybody is surprised. But Porsha is not amused at all. She reasons that Kenya now has a new ally and she is not happy about it. So they about to have dinner, but no drinks are served, okay? And they ask Porsha to pray, and Porsha says, I'm not in the mood to pray. And the next thing that we hear is,
Oh.